Okay, so today's lesson objective. Students will find the slope of a line given a graph or 2 points on the line. So the first ones we're going to talk about are on a graph. The slope, M is the letter we use to stand for slope, and it comes from a French word for mountain, because it was a French mathematician who first talked about slope. So it's rise over run. The rise is just how much you go up or down. How much did your y change? And your run is just how much you went left to right, your change in x. So rise is talking about up or down. If you go up, your rise is positive. If you go down, your rise is negative. And then run is left or right. Left would be a negative slope, and right would be a positive slope. And what I want you guys to do when you're graphing is I want you to always run right. I don't want you to run wrong. And the reason is that way you put the positive or the negative with your rise. And if you always run right, your lines will be going the right direction. Okay, so we're going to find the slope of the line in example A. Again, it's rise over run. So what I do is I find 2 points. So I'm going to use points that are obvious points. And I figure out how far I went. So if I look at here, from one point I went up a positive 3, didn't I? And then I went to the right a positive 3. And so my run is also positive 3. So rise over run, 3 over 3, that reduces to 1. And so my slope for this line would be 1. Okay? So you notice we ended up with a positive number, right? And as you look at the slope, a positive slope, it rises as you go left to right. Okay, a positive slope is always rising as you go left to right. So after you're done writing that down, I'll have you guys figure out the slope for this one on your whiteboards. Okay, so we're going up 1. So my rise is 1, and then my run is 1, 2, 3. So the slope is 1/3. Okay, this one's in your notes. All right, so for this one I'm going from negative 6.5 over to 3.2. So if I look at my graph, I'm going down 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to the right 9. So in this case my run is negative, and then negative 3 over 9 reduces to negative 1/3. Negative 3 over 9. Wow, you really can't see that, can you? All right, let me write it in a different color. Okay, so, oh, I'm not done writing on that one, actually. So negative slope. If we have a negative slope, that means that it is falling as I go left to right. Negative slope, it's falling as we go left to right. So I know that's a little bit hard to see, but go ahead and give that one an attempt on your whiteboards.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, so we went down 2, and we went to the right 4. So that reduces to negative 1/2. Okay, horizontal lines. The thing you need to know about horizontal lines is the slope is 0. Because if you look at it, as I go from this point on the left to this point on the right, did I go up or down at all? No, I didn't. My rise was 0. It doesn't matter that my run was 12. 0 divided by 12 is still 0. So the important thing to remember about horizontal lines is the slope is 0. Now if I look at my vertical lines, now I can see I've got a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But did it go left to right at all? No, there's no run. And are you guys allowed to divide by 0? No, you can't divide by 0. Do you remember the word for that when you divide by 0? No? There's a lot of words. Okay, what it means is the slope is undefined. Undefined is the word I was looking for. Okay. Vertical lines, the slope is undefined. So on your whiteboards, tell me what the slope of that one is. Okay, so you have 2 over 0. You can't divide by 0. That means the slope of that one is undefined. All right, so what's the slope of this next one? Okay, so we went down 2, and we went to the right 6, and that reduces to negative 1/3. All right, what's the slope of this line? All right, so there's no rise. 0 divided by anything is still 0, so the slope of that one is 0. Okay, moving along. Now we're going to talk about if you have 2 points. If you're given 2 points, the formula for slope is m equals y sub 2 over y sub 1 minus x sub 2 over x sub 1. So again, this is just your change in y over your change in x. It's just now we're going to be doing it mathematically instead of looking at a graph. So for my first one, I'll do it mathematically and then I'll show you that it comes out the same on the graph. So I've got, I want to find the slope of the line that contains the points 2, 5, and 8, 1. And I'm going to let this be my x sub 1, y sub 1. And this one will be my x sub 2, y sub 2. So the slope equals y sub 2, which is 1, minus y sub 1, which is 5, over x sub 2, which is 8, minus x sub 1, which is 2. So 1 minus 5 comes out to a negative 4, and 8 minus 2 comes out to a positive 6, and then if you reduce that, it's negative 2/3. And if I look at it on a graph, 2, 5 would be here, 8, 1 would be here. So that's my line. And then I can see that I went down 4, there's the down 4, right? And to the right 6, there's the positive 6. So it'll always work to graph it and count, but you can also do it mathematically without having to take the time to graph it. So for this one, next one on your whiteboards, I want you to do it mathematically using the formula. Okay, so what you can do if you want to kind of make sure you keep them in the same order is you can also like write them one over the other, and again, it's just like a subtraction problem. Then I take the y's first. I do 7 minus 15 on top, and then on the bottom I do 1 minus 5. So sometimes it helps you to see it if you write just one over the other, and that way you keep them in the same order, but it's up to you. So 7 minus 15 is a negative 8, 1 minus 5 is a negative 4, and then that reduces to a positive 2, which most of you eventually ended up with. Okay, this next one is on your notes. We're going to find the slope of the line that contains the points -2, -2, and 7, 2. So I'm going to rewrite my 7, -2 right here. It doesn't matter which one you choose to be x1, y1 and which one is x2, y2, as long as you're consistent. So, so now I just have a subtraction problem. I've got my y minus y. So -2 minus -2. And then I have my x minus x. So -2 minus 7. So you want to be real careful with your negative signs or it's going to make the whole problem explode. All right, so that becomes a -2 plus 2 on top, and that's -9 on the bottom. What is -2 plus 2? 0, right? And so that means my slope is 0. So what kind of a line is it? What kind of lines have a 0 slope? Horizontal or vertical? Horizontal, yes. Okay, so here's one for your whiteboards. Find the slope of the line that contains the points 5, 3 and -1, 4. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 minus 4 on top and 5 minus a -1 on the bottom. So that's -1 over positive 6. Okay. One more for your whiteboards. I want you to do one that goes through 5, 2 and 5, 4. Okay, so you should have gotten that it was undefined. If it's undefined, what kind of line is it? Vertical. Okay, but the answer I was looking for was undefined. Thank you.